Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rosie Victoria and we are going to be diving into the Scorpio reading for December 2024. Now, as we're diving in, we're going to dive into all areas of life, career, love, energy, emotions, finances. Everything is going to be discussed here in this collective reading. Now, with all collective readings, what I do ask is you take the time to just make it make sense in your reality. We're reading collectively right now, and so I'm picking up on a lot of energy. Therefore, you want to dissect it and make it make sense in your reality. Now, what you will be able to do is see patterns and themes of what I'm communicating and how it resonates in different areas of your life using the astrology chart and your signs moving forward. Now, as we're diving in, Scorpio, what I'm seeing right now is more context needs to be added. Now, I'm going to begin with career because it feels like career is one of the biggest focuses right now inside of your life and business. And as I'm leaning into career, it feels like there needs to be more context. Now, for those of you who are business owners, as we're going into December, you need to be really centered on what is the context and how are you going to add more description. A lot of you that are business owners or really working on your career right now, you're not adding as much substance as you need to. This is a time of really supplying yourself into the process. And so if you're applying for a new job or you're stepping into a deeper capacity within your career, you need to apply yourself. You need to commit yourself to the journey. However, you also need to give yourself permission to look at, am I being as descriptive as I need to be in my work moving forward? If you've received a lot of rejection in the careers that you've applied for recently, maybe you're not being descriptive enough in your resume, in your CV. If you're finding that in your business you aren't receiving signups as fast as you desire, maybe you're not being descriptive enough of what you offer and how you serve your clients. Now, this is really important because it's actually the presence of how you position yourself in all chapters of life. And it feels like there's a lot of missing context right now as to why you're doing what it is that you're doing. Now, this might actually create some resistance from the people around you because you might notice that they're struggling with supporting your vision or seeing why you're trying to move forward in business. And the main reason behind this is because you're not focusing your attention as deeply as needed. And so what we're noticing here is that your friends, your family, they're struggling to get on board and be as supportive as you would like because they can't see the context. Now, the reason they can't see the context is you're not being descriptive enough. You know who you are, but you're hiding parts of your identity and your personality. And so it kind of feels like you're downplaying the energy that you want to bring to the surface in your life. And so your relationships are suffering, your friendships are suffering, your finances are suffering because right now you're not honoring the context. You're not honoring the vision of what you're creating right now for yourself. Now, Scorpio, as I'm leaning into December, I feel like you're going to have to realize that this is about positioning yourself in a more loud and a more out there energy. There's going to be some very big conversations that need to be had with the people in your life. However, the people in your life are going to need to see action. If you found yourself becoming very defensive around like questions and different things that the people in your life are bringing to the surface, just know the reason why they're challenging you is they want to see you stand firm. They're not trying to judge you. They're not trying to criticize you. It might come across that way, but what they're really craving is you standing firm. They want you to honor your beliefs and they want you to honor this chapter of your life. And so what's really important for them is that they see you choosing yourself and choosing yourself at the highest possible level. Now, that means that you have to apply context. You have to be so grounded in your identity that they can see exactly who you are and why you're going on this journey. There is going to be some discomfort with this because you feel like people aren't supporting you, but actually this is about you not showing up for yourself and adding context as to why you're doing what it is that you're doing. And I feel at times you don't always know the context, which makes it really hard for you to move forward into your goals because you're not grounded in your why and you're not grounded in the energy of why you're doing what it is that you're doing. So there's a lot coming to the surface right now about this personal journey with context, making sure that you're spending time giving yourself what it is that you need. I feel this is a time of getting grounding in your understanding of self and why you're moving forward into certain chapters and making sure that the people around you can see action. Action sometimes has the availability to rewire certain relationships in our surrounding. And so if you can start to place your attention in your action, you'll notice that other people are being more supportive because they're seeing you go after what it is that you want. And I know that you've spent time being frustrated at other people's emotional responses to the decisions that you're making inside of your life, but in reality, they are only coming across this way because they care about you and they want you to challenge yourself into being your best self. Now, December feels like you're laying down the foundation. It might not be the month where you get the reward, but it is a month of laying down the foundation. There's an entering of knowing who you are in this next season. I feel like you've gone through a little bit of a whirlwind and now you're grounded in who you are. The identity is coming much more to the surface over the next couple of months. And December onwards is like the time where you're laying the foundation and you're really setting the tone of who you want to be in 2025 moving forward. Now, what Spirit is showcasing to me is that it is a time to go after what it is that you want, but it's a time to make sure that every box is ticked. I feel when it comes down to career department, you've left certain boxes unticked. You've been unclear. You've taken yourself into confusion. You do not need to live in that confusion, but you need to make sure that you're covering all options. And so if you're somebody who's pushing forward in your career, you need to make sure that you're being descriptive about your services, your offerings, and you're allowing that confidence and clarity to come to the surface. If you're applying for a new job, you really need to be thinking about how are you taking up space and presenting yourself. It's not just about what you say, it's about what you do. And so the people around you are going to be really, really holding you to what you said you were going to do. At the end of the day, they need you to show up for them. They need you to position yourself in a place of accountability. And so once you start showing up and living up to the things that you vocalize, the people around you are going to start granting you opportunities. If you feel like that pay increase is slow, come back to the drawing board. Who do you need to be to get that pay increase? Because right now it's all about your accountability and it's confidence that holds you back. You're not unmotivated. You're not feeling disconnected. It is purely confidence that is holding you back. You don't feel fully confident in yourself, and so you're not taking that radical action and placing your context into the chapters of your life that you're opening. Right now, there's a lot of decisive action. You have to know why you're doing what it is that you're doing. If you don't know why, things can't work out. I feel like a lot of you have had some interesting goals around like your next chapter, but you've never had the why of what you're doing and why you're doing it. And so it's been really hard to position yourself in the process because you've had missing pieces. Now is the time to get crystal clear on all parts of the why, the journey, so that you have the stepping stones in place and can start to make the movement. Now, I feel like for some of you, Scorpio, and this is definitely not for everybody, but for some of you, you've had goals of moving. You've had goals of moving a little bit further away. You've had goals of really like setting your sights on a big like change in your life. However, you haven't had the why grounded in. And so whatever this change is, if it's not moving, whatever the change is almost like you haven't been able to bring it into fruition because you haven't had the context. If you just spend some time focusing on the context, you can create the vision much faster. So really do spend some time sitting with yourself right now and thinking about who you need to be. Now, just a reminder, Scorpio, that my end of year 2025 full year ahead readings are now open. And so if you do want to schedule, you can reach out to me on Instagram, on Facebook. I'll drop all of the links down below. Quote that you're ready for a full year ahead reading and I will send you the link. But drop me a like and subscribe. I will be back in 2025 with your readings for January.